Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for coming along to the 1Spatial webinar on One Data Gateway. Before we get started, I would like to do the welcome to country. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today and pay my respects to their elders past and present. I extend this respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders people here today listening in. My name is Andre Makika. I am the Country Manager for 1Spatial Australia, and I'd like to welcome everybody along to our webinar today. I would also like to introduce the panel of people that are going to be helping me today with this webinar. Start with Ricardo Cyphers, who is the Product Manager for the One Data Gateway application. He has a background in software development in the space sector. Ricardo, as the product manager for One Data Gateway, analyzes the needs of the users and defines the future development to ensure that the product meets and exceeds our customers' expectations. With him, we have Philip Ridley. Philip works in the public sector and government verticals of the 1Spatial with UK and international clients, as well as keeping clients and the wider industry up to date with the latest technological developments at 1Spatial. Phil works closely with product managers to feedback what the industry needs to ensure that the technology we are developing can help organisations in the geospatial industry. And I'd also like to welcome along Simon Laird, who has a background in spatial analysis with a broad experience in managing, analysing and product bespoke outputs using spatial systems. As the 1Spatial Australia Services Lead, Simon leads a team of consultants who design and implement solutions using a suite of technology to enable organisations to get the most value from their data. Our presentation today will go through basically a company overview. We'll be talking about the solutions that we do provide here at 1Spatial Australia. We'll be doing an overview of the One Data Gateway. Ricardo will then do a demonstration on One Data Gateway, and we will then follow that up with questions and close, and thanks for all those that have attended. With regard to questions, in order to be able to answer your questions, what we would like you to do is, when you have logged in, there is a questions dialog box. We would invite you to write those questions down, and then at the end we will go through and answer them to the best of our ability. Who are we? With 1Spatial, we like to make your data smarter. We have offices all through the world, with head office being in Cambridge. We have offices in the US, Dublin in Ireland, in Paris, France, and various other locations around the world, along with offices in Sydney and in Melbourne here in Australia. We work with a number of technology partners, and the main ones that I can talk about are the Oracle, Esri, and Safe Software, with a number of customers that we work with around the world and working in government, utilities, transport sector. We are a software solution provider and a global expert in managing location and geospatial data. We are striving to make the world safer, smarter, and more sustainable for the future, helping customers to unlock the value of their data to create a smart world, delivering powerful data solutions and applications on-premise, mobile, and in the cloud. We are a customer-centric business. We are driven to deliver solutions to address our customers' needs and market requirements, and we work collaboratively with people to achieve this result. The solutions that we have with the 1Spatial Management Suite, where we have a number of products that are available for customers, and we also have FME within the Australian operation, where we are the premier platinum distribution partner and value-added reseller for FME, where we provide the various products support, support, training and consultancy needs for people. Today's presentation, we'll be talking in particular about our new product, One Data Gateway. It was globally launched on the 4th of March this year. It is a self-serve web portal for spatial data validation, processing and analytics. Seb Lesware, who is the CTO for 1Spatial, said, "We believe One Data Gateway has the power to transform the manipulation of spatial data. We're always driven by the need for our customers and in identifying the requirements for an easy-to-use yet powerful portal for data quality and integration. Hence, we've developed One Data Gateway." The One Data Gateway is available in a cloud or in an on-premise arrangement. It has a comprehensive dashboarding, offers internal and external users a product that is secure, fully scalable and customizable. It handles both spatial and non-spatial data files, helps with data supply chain management, is ideal for transportation infrastructure companies, government agencies, utility companies. It improves productivity, lowers costs, and guarantees control, compliance, and data governance. Business need in the many-to-one supply chain. It has quality and content of data submissions, gives rise to resubmissions being easier to do and able to be done with certainty, highly prevalent in a federated data model, highly prevalent in a contractor supply chain, reduces time and costs of the data supply chain. To give you a couple of examples where it has been used, particularly in the US, with the federal highways in the United States, they don't actually do any collection of road information. They rely on the 52 Department of Transport organisations that do collect the road information, and they are provided the data through a One Data Gateway portal, bringing the data into their system, ensuring that the data is compliant with their system, thus reducing the need for them to do any editing and correcting of the data. The Census Department or the Bureau of Census in the US, they also don't collect data themselves. They rely upon the 3,200 municipalities of the United States to provide them their data in a form that they need for their business needs. So the Data Gateway is a self-serve web portal for spatial and aspatial data, validation, processing, and analytics. Smart, simple, and controlled way to deliver validation rules or data enhancement processes to internal and external users. Harnesses the power of a rules engine in the cloud. Project management and security administration are easily done. What you see here is the user interface that you will see, and Ricardo will go through this in a bit more detail in his live presentation. But as I think you can see, it's quite neat and clean and easy to read. User cases, automating of data supply chain, automate the data delivery workflow. Data providers can validate data before submission to save time, ensure incoming data meets the required level of quality, and promotes good practice. To give you just a very quick graphical display of how we do it with the data validation, the original data is submitted to the Data Gateway. Through the rules engine, it will go through and provide a report on validation results, showing the information that has been correct and the information that needs to be fixed. In the data acceptance, data can be provided using the rules again. The data that is compliant can go into the required database, updating it, making sure that it's correct, and the results of the validation are then provided in a report to the end user. And we can also utilize it to go through, put data through to the system, through the data gateway, using the rules, provide enhanced data, adding to the data that's available. Other benefits: automate the data delivery workflow, analyze the quality of your incoming data over time, manage all data submissions from a single place, track and audit data submissions and analyze project performance, feed internal business intelligence tools, access your rules from anywhere, anytime. It provides a one integrate or an FME or a use case validation enhancement capabilities to non-expert users, either internally or externally of your organization. So our customers that have been using the system have said not only is the process quicker and less costly, it is also more efficient. The locals can send in data at any time, which means that the data set is no longer accurate only once a year. It's actually accurate as the data is being put into the system. I'd like to now hand over to Ricardo, who will present a real-time demonstration of One Data Gateway. Thank you very much, Ricardo.
Thank you, Andre, and hello, everyone. Now we want to give you a flavor of how what Data Gateway looks like and how it works. As it's been explained, is meant for many use cases in which data is transferred from one organization to another or one department to another in an easy and automated way. Normally, when data is delivered between different organizations, is sent manually, perhaps through an FTP server, email, and then it needs to be processed. We want to automate this process with Data Gateway, as you will see now. But first, I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes a few bits of how this is configured and the features that it has in terms of managing projects and suppliers and users. First, we will start with suppliers. Suppliers would be any third-party organization that supplies data to us, or perhaps another department if the interchange of data is between departments of the same organization. So basically, a supplier is a group of users that we allow access to the Data Gateway. Here we can configure add users and give permissions. The two main types of users that we have here, even though we can give different permissions to users, the main two groups of users are users of the receiving organization that expect others to deliver data, and users from the organizations that deliver the data. We're calling them receiver users and supplier users. Here we have the different projects that we have configured here. Projects are very easy to configure. First, we will have defined in a different tool the process that the data is going to be, the process that is going to be performed on the data, which can be a validation process or an enhancement process on the data, as Andre has said before. So once that process has been defined, we can easily configure here by just giving a name to the project, an image that identifies it, and here we can define what is the process already defined that we are going to run on the data, what data sources it's using. Some data sources will be provided by the user, some data sources will be already in our system for integration or validation. And once the process are defined, we can assign them to a particular data supplier so that they will be able to access the data, access the application to deliver data. So here we have a number of projects that we have defined. And we can also from this screen see a dashboard in which we see the activity of this application in terms of how many submissions we have in a particular period of time for each of the projects that we have defined, and the activity over time here. We can also see for a particular specification or particular project, we can see how the data is doing in terms of what are the rules that are failing the most. Here, when we see that some rules are failing a lot, we can inform our data suppliers that they need to perhaps look better into some particular aspects of the data, for instance. And here we can see, obviously here the line is flat because I am using the same data all the time, but we could see here the evolution of the quality of the data over time, if it is getting better or getting worse over time. Okay, now I am going to log out and log in as a data supplier here. In this case, the user interface is simpler because the data supplier can only access the projects that have been assigned to them, and also the typical functions of managing their own account, password, image, etc. I'm going to show a couple of examples of applications that we can do with Data Gateway. In this case, this snapping is accident report. It is about a police department that will report accidents on a road, on the roads. Here we have this is an internal database in which we have a stretch of a motorway, and in this we are going to add these accident reports here. All the blue dots are accidents that have been reported. As you can see, the location of the accident is not very accurate in some cases. In this case, even we don't know if it is northbound or southbound. And this is important because these reports will inform the road operator in order to plan for maintenance or signaling or whatever actions they need to take. There, for instance, here you can see other examples of reports that are not very clear where they are happening. And this data we want to automatically insert into the database of the road operator. So we are going to upload these reports into Data Gateway here. It's very easy. As I said, instead of manually delivering that data and manually checking it, we automate all the process by just getting the file with the reports, uploading into the application. Once it's uploaded, the process of validation and integration is run automatically. You can see the detail of what is going on here, all the checks that have been performed on the data, all the objects that have been processed, and now the process is already finished. We can see here, if we update the data, yeah, we can see here those purple points are the data that is already inserted into the database. In this case, it's an Oracle database. We can see the original data here and a line that joins the original data with the new one. As you can see, this validation is important because this point, for instance, apparently was on the slip road, but in reality, from other attributes of the data, the system has determined that the accident actually happened here and is being moved to the right location. Same here. This point was apparently here, and it is actually on the slip road. All this process has been done automatically, as you can see, in just a few seconds with no human intervention apart from just uploading the file into Data Gateway. We can finish the process here, and let's see another example. Well, I forgot to say that here, apart from the data being inserted, there are some, perhaps there are some points that could not be inserted because the data was not, the system could not determine exactly where the accident happened. For instance, this point, as you can see, is not snapped into the data, is not inserted into the database. So the user can here download this output data, which will be the same data that was uploaded, but only with the points that didn't pass the validation could not be inserted. So the user can easily access this file, fix the data that is wrong, and upload it again to insert the points that were not automatically inserted. So let's go to see a different example. In here, it is a map of a city, and a surveying company has done a survey and identified new buildings that they want to insert in the map. Again, we would go and select the file with the new buildings and upload the file. In this case, we can see here that the file that I uploaded doesn't have the same naming that the system is expecting. So I have uploaded new buildings in a table called new buildings, but the system is expecting a different name, which is building upload. If this happens, we see this screen automatically, and we can map the names that I uploaded with the names that the system is expecting for classes or tables, or even attribute names that could be different than expected. Now that we have selected what the mapping is, we see this in green that everything is mapped. We can good to go. We will run the process here, and again we can see how the system is working. The process has finished, and some validation has been done on the buildings that they uploaded, and some non-conformances have been found here, 188. So again, we can either see these results on a map. Here are the buildings that I uploaded. These buildings on purpose were not very right, so we can see these dots marking the points that some validation has failed. And if we click on them, we can see here in the output what the validation rules have been violated. That's this one: building must not overlap other buildings. We can see these buildings are overlapping others, or that the function of the building is valid. Probably is not. You can see here the function is residence, where it should be residential. So we can see all the the errors in the data, and also, apart from watching them on the map, we can, again, as before, we can download this in the output, which would be in this case a shapefile with all the points where the validation has failed, so we can look at the data and fix them and upload again. So yes, basically this is the demonstration I wanted to show. If something was not clear enough, we are happy to answer your questions later. I'm going to hand over to Andre again.
Thank you, Ricardo. That concludes our presentation. We'd like to take this opportunity to answer any questions that have come through. So I'd call upon Emma, have there been any questions that have come through?
Yeah, sure. So there's one question here. I'm currently using FME across my organisation. However, like the look of One Data Gateway as a portal for new data coming into my organisation. Can One Data Gateway be integrated into an environment that is already heavily reliant on FME? Andre, are you able to answer that?
Yes. As I indicated in the presentation, at the moment, we are looking at developing One Data Gateway to work with FME. So if your organisation is already working with FME, One Data Gateway will be able to key in to what your FME operations are, utilising the functionality of FME to do the validating, correcting of data, and One Data Gateway will be the portal to get the information in and out.
Great. So I've got another question here. I already use FME, so why do I need One Data Gateway? Simon, I'll hand this over to you.
Thanks, Emma. Yeah, so as Ricardo's shown and as Andre's mentioned, One Data Gateway gives you a great web portal that enables you to effectively separate your data custodians from the process, which means you may have third-party data coming in. What this will give you is a great way to give them access to see the process while not requiring necessarily having hands-on with the process itself. So it really is about that whole data submission reporting side of things, which you get in quite a nice, easy to use interface that Data Gateway gives you.
Great. So we've got another question that's come up. Can One Data Gateway be used to produce permits for asset construction, which is valid? Phil?
I'll take that one if you want, Emma. Yeah, the One Data Gateway can be done to do that. We saw on Ricardo's presentation that there were PDFs and that sort of thing, reports of how well the data has passed the validation, which can be opened at one click of a button. And so you can use that capability if you word your rules accordingly. Each time one of those rules is passed, it comes up saying valid, which can produce a permit of accreditation. If you need something that's more bespoke and more formatted, so it's on brand, One Data Gateway can be fitted into a wider solution with other products, business intelligence tools, and that sort of thing, which is how you can get your more bespoke formatted reports. So yes, technically it's possible.
Great. Okay, another question that's come through. Does One Data Gateway have to be a cloud hosted, or can it be installed on premise if we have sensitive data in our organisation? Ricardo, I'll hand that one to you.
Yeah, of course. Yes, Data Gateway is a web application that can run either on the cloud. It could be managed by us or in a private cloud of the customer. And if for security reasons, or because they need Data Gateway access internal databases, there's no problem. It can be installed on premise. Of course.
Great. And the last question I have here, I'll hand this one over to you, Andre. Does a separate license have to be made for each data supplier?
That's the beauty of One Data Gateway. No, you just have the single setup, single license that's working. It's then available to everybody and anybody that needs to be able to submit information through that portal. So the answer is no, you don't, and that's one of the beauties of One Data Gateway.
Great. So I think that's all for the questions that have come through this evening.
Thank you very much, Emma. I'd like to thank the panel that have been with me this afternoon, in particular Ricardo, Phil, and Simon. Thank you very much, and thank you, Emma, for putting together this webinar for us all. I would also like to thank you, the people that have attended, and if you have any more information or you require any more information, we would ask you if you would get in contact with us at info@1spatial.com, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. And if you want to get more information about the product, our website is there. You just go to the 1Spatial website, products, One Data Gateway, and you'll be able to get more information about it. Although we will be publishing this presentation, so if you've missed something or you want to see it again, by all means, you'll be notified tomorrow with an email indicating where to get it. And on that note, I would like to thank you all very much again for attending and wish you a safe and happy rest of the afternoon. Thank you very much.